Welcome back, everybody, as I continue to work on my N-scale model train layout. Specifically, the challenge of carving roads and campsites into extruded foam, something I've never attempted before. And let's not forget that I had to carve a lake, too. Here I start using a drywall knife, which turned out not to be very useful. And then I tried just a blade, and that didn't work very well. So then I switched over to using my Dremel, which actually did work better, but caused a lot of mess and was time consuming. Here I continue to route away, and even more routing. My Dremel is not the ideal tool because the bit isn't long enough, so I ended up using the drywall knife blade and my fingers, and then eventually I used a chisel to continue digging out the lake. And then I finished off using the drywall knife to get an angle on the shore of the lake. After some cleanup, I used a little tool designed to lay track parallel to mark the edge of the roadbed so I won't accidentally carve into that during the next steps. I then followed this by using a small rasp to further define where the roadbed would end next to the track. So when I eventually ballast, I'll have the proper width of the roadbed. And here you see me working on finishing up that process. Then it was time to get rid of the flat by starting the carving to get an initial main road up into the campsite. Use a chisel, a saw, Sureform planer. Back to the drywall saw, and eventually I ended up using sandpaper to smooth it out in the final stages. Before I started carving the campsite roads and the campsites themselves and the flat needed for that, I placed the template back over the entire module so I can get a feel for where that should be. And I basically used a Sureform planer for all of the work, putting the template back on and off a couple of times that I'm not showing you here, and continued to carve away until I got the basic topography that I thought was necessary. One thing I've learned is always keep a shop vac handy because there is a lot to clean up. I took a break so I could do a little planning. I know there's more to do, and I wanted to bring in the mountain piece and see how that fit in. And then I did a little experimenting by breaking up some pieces of foam to make them look like fallen rock off the edge of the mountain, because eventually I'm going to have to blend in the bottom of the mountain with the flat of the module. Thank you for joining me as I build my layout, and if you would, please hit the like button, subscribe, and please leave comments. I always enjoy reading those. Thank you.